Yes, sir. Very happy evening to all. I believe that your law examination have went very well. I'm not here to evaluate how you have done law, whether the law is tough or easy or medium. That's not my matter of concern at all. I am having only one gift to you, my dear lovable students. For the September examination, you may be searching here and there. In GST, is there any amendment? Sir, if you go through the 7 pages which I have highlighted, what is the very important one from our statutory update? That itself is more than enough for examination, my dear lovable students. I try my level best to explain this thing 45 minutes to max 1 hour. Then it will be so much of time saving for you. And when you are listening, listen at 1.5 speed. Then you can quickly have a brush up, man. The first amendments are from concept of supply. As we all know that section 7, subsection 1, clause A, supply includes all forms of supply of goods or services or both, such as sale, barter, transfer, exchange, license, lease, rental or disposal, made or agreed to be made for a consideration by a person in the course or furtherance of business. From that area and all, no amendment. We are having section 9, my dear lovable students, section 9.1 of the CGST Act and 5.1 of the IGST Act. Are you remembering 9.1, 9.2, 9.3, 9.4, 9.5? The parallel sections are 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, 5.4 and 5.5. What we have learned is CGST applied to all goods and services supplied within a state. Since it is section 9, they are talking about intra-state supply. If it is section 5, they will talk from the angle of the interstate supply, except alcoholic liquor for human consumption. When we studied the act, only this one thing was outside the scope of the GST. One is alcoholic liquor for human consumption and HP, man. But to the list of alcoholic liquor for human consumption, they have added one more item, which is undenatured extra neutral alcohol or rectified spirit used for the manufacture of the alcoholic liquor for human consumption. What is the analysis of this amendment? Very simple, man. For example, I am dealing in alcoholic liquor for human consumption. If I am supplying alcoholic liquor for human consumption, this is neither, sir, supply of goods or nor supply of services. Basically, if you are supplying any goods or services except alcoholic liquor for human consumption, it will be subject to GST. That means alcoholic liquor for human consumption are not subject to GST is what our understanding. Sir, for the purpose of manufacturing the alcoholic liquor for human consumption, I need raw materials such as denatured extra neutral alcohol. Sir, undenatured extra neutral alcohol. This is first one. Plus one more raw material I need, man. Rectified spirit. If I am supplying this for the purpose of manufacturing alcoholic liquor for human consumption, anyway, this is outside the scope of GST. Now this item also added outside the scope of GST. This may be tested for 2 or 3 mark in examination. Can we read and settle with that amendment, man? CGST applied to all goods supplied within the state. Yes, whatever may be the goods or services or both, you are supplying within the state, for that CGST will be applicable. Except alcoholic liquor for human consumption, that we already know. And new item has been added, undenatured extra neutral alcohol or rectified spirit used for manufacture of alcoholic liquor for human consumption. According to me, how ICAI will coin the question, they will say that they are a supplier of undenatured extra neutral alcohol or rectified spirit. They have supplied for the manufacturing of perfume, then it is liable to GST. Because if these two raw material has been supplied for manufacturing of alcoholic liquor for human consumption, then it will be outside the scope of GST. That's it, man. The first amendment done. Come on, man. Apportionment of insurance premium. Para 9 of Schedule 3 and Para 10 of Schedule 3, both the amendment are relating to insurance company. What this is saying? We have already completed Schedule 3. Schedule 3 means neither supply of goods nor supply of services. A stands for actionable claims other than specified actionable claims. B stands for board. There are 5 boards are there. C stands for court. D stands for district court. E stands for employer and employee relationship. F stands for funeral. G stands for ground. H stands for holds a position. Sir, to that list, they have added two more items to our schedule 3, which is very, very easy. I will give you an example, man. The analysis of the amendment number 2. For example, there is an insurance company, my dear lovable students. Sir, there is a person called as Mr. X. Mr. X want to insure either his building or his stock or something with the insurance company, car or anything. Assume the total value of the insurance is 100 crores. The total value of the insurance is 100 crores. For this, the insurance company has to collect the premium from the person who are going to get the insurance. Assume that the insurance premium, what they are going to collect is 1 crore. Fine. For this insurance premium, they will be collecting plus GST at the rate of 18%. So 18 lakh GST has also been collected. So 1.18 crore is the total amount collected from the recipient by the insurance company. Now the insurance company is thinking that, oh my God, if something has been happened to this insurance, we are supposed to pay 100 crore, which feels like a very big amount. So as an insurance company, what we are going to do is, we are going to join this insurance with some other person called as co-insurer. So this insurance company is otherwise called as lead insurer. So two insurance company, man, lead insurer and co-insurer. So the co-insurance is insurance company number 2 and insurance company number 3. So actually, this lead insurer is a service provider and this Mr. X is the service recipient in transaction number 1. In transaction number 2, this insurance company 2 and insurance company 3 is the service provider and this lead insurance company is the service recipient. So this lead insurance company have to pay consideration to the service provider, accepting for example, if 60% of the total risk is going to be shared by the lead insurance company, remaining 40% has to be shared by the co-insurance company. Right, sir? Out of that, 20% is going to be shared by this person and another 20% is going to be shared by the insurance company number 3. That means out of 1 crore rupees value of supply collected, 20 lakh will be shared by the insurance company. And another 20 lakh will be shared by this guy and 60 lakhs will be this guy. Since this co-insurer is providing service to the lead insurance company, actually it is a supply of service. There is no doubt. My dear lovable students, this insurance company, co-insurance company have to collect GST from the lead insurance company. That means they have to raise the invoice like this, man, which is nothing but 20 lakh. Plus GST should be, the invoice should be raised. Sir, actually, this 20 lakh and 20 lakh is a part and parcel of this 1 crore only. This lead insurance company has collected the GST from the real service recipient, which is at 100%. That is 18% is the rate of tax. On the 100% value, the GST has been collected. Again, if the co-insurance is collecting GST from the lead insurance company, it will lead to double taxation. So, government came up and said that if the lead insurance company is collecting 100% on 100% value GST, then service provided by the co-insurance company to the lead insurance company will neither be treated as supply of goods nor be treated as supply of services, man. That's it, man. Come on. The apportionment of insurance premium, co-insurance premium by the lead insurance company to the co-insurance is not considered neither as supply of goods nor as supply of services, provided with one condition. Lead insurance company pay GST on the entire premium received from the insured. Insured means a person actually receiving the services. Beautiful amendment, sir. Sir, some sense is there because in order to remove the cascading effect, they have, sir, introduced this part. Super, sir. So I'm consolidating. there is one lead insurance company, and there is one recipient called as insured. Sir, lead insurance company is going to take the risk exposure of 100 crores. For that, they are going to collect a premium of 1 crore plus GST of 18 lakh, 1.18 crores. Now the lead insurance companies start fearing. They are thinking that, oh my God, if something has been happened to that guy, I have to compensate 100 crore. So let me safeguard myself. For that, they are sharing the risk with the co-insurance, my dear lovable students. So actually, co-insurance company is service provider and lead insurance company is a service recipient in another transaction. For that, actually, co-insurance company is supposed to collect GST. But what GST Act is saying that it will lead to double taxation, unnecessary wastage of time. So if you are able to ensure one thing, that is lead insurance company is collecting GST on the entire 1 crore from the insured person, then this neither will be treated as supply of goods nor will be treated as supply of services. I believe that you are able to appreciate or understand the second amendment, man. If you want, once again, we will read it and settle. The apportionment, yes, 1 crore rupees we collected, 60 lakhs we ourselves has kept, 40 lakhs has been shared between the co-insurer. Of the co-insurance premium, that insurance premium will be called it as co-insurance premium by the lead insurer to the co-insurer is neither considered as supply of goods nor considered as supply of services, provided the lead insurer pay GST on the entire premium received from the insured. That's it. Come on, man. The same example continues, my dear lovable students. There is an insurance company called as ABC Limited. Same example, the next amendment I'm talking about. This ABC Limited has given insurance services to Mr. A for the same value of 100 crores. Sir, for that they are supposed to collect premium. Insurance premium is equal to 1 crore. On that 1 crore, my dear lovable students, they have to collect GST at the rate of 18%. 18 lakh is the GST. So 1.18 crores is the total amount ABC Limited is going to be collected from Mr. A. At that time, ABC Limited did not have any, sir, thought of what will, sir, if anything happened to Mr. A, we will lose 100 crore. At that time, little timur was there to Mr. ABC Limited. After a certain point of time, sir, ABC Limited's actuarial valuation or some person said that this guy is having a high risk party. Something may happen in future. So better you reinsure. You what? Reinsure this with another insurance company. So insurance company 2 is there. Insurance company 3 is there. Sir, this is not co-insurer because in the earlier example, all the 3 people put together give the insurance to the insured person. Whereas initially only ABC Limited has given the insurance to the insured person. But later ABC Limited have reinsured with the another insurance company. So actually these guys are the service provider. These guys are the service recipient. When they are providing service to the service recipient, they are supposed to collect GST. There is no doubt about it. There is no doubt about it. For that, there is no exception. But now if you see, after getting the insurance by ABC Limited from Mr. A, actually ABC Limited is sharing the insurance with the reinsurance people. So ABC Limited is actually giving business to reinsurance people. Sir, insurance company is having a habit. If anyone gives business, they are supposed to give commission, my dear lovable students. So who give the business? ABC Limited give the business. So by that way, ABC Limited has provided the service provider. And this guy is a service recipient. Sir, what service they provided? They have procured the business. ABC Limited has procured the client. If there is no ABC Limited, insurance company 2 and insurance company 3 would not have got this business. So, insurance company 2 and insurance company 3 is supposed to pay commission. That commission is called a ceding commission. Sir, for this, since a service provider is ABC Limited have to raise an invoice. ABC Limited is supposed to raise an invoice. What should be there in the invoice? Nothing. Ceding commission will be there. And GST will be there, my dear lovable students. So generally what they will do, actually the main service is provided by ABC Limited to Mr. A. I hope that this is transaction number 1. After a certain point of time, ABC Limited took insurance from the reinsurance people. So this is the transaction number 2. Now reinsurance people is a service provider and ABC Limited is a service recipient. Accepting? Okay, sir. Sir, there is one more service is there. Transaction number 3. ABC Limited is a service provider and insurance company 2 and 3 is a service recipient. For that, insurance company 2 and 3 is supposed to pay ceding commission to ABC Limited, right? For the transaction number 2, the service provider is reinsurance company and service recipient is lead insurer, right, sir? Here I cannot call it as lead insurer. I can call it as ABC Limited itself. So I'm calling it as ABC itself. Accepting? In transaction number 2, service provider is ABC and service recipient is reinsurance company. So since this guy is a service recipient, ABC Limited have to pay consideration to reinsurance company. Since reinsurance company is a service recipient, this guy have to pay consideration to ABC. That means it's like cross-holding in our amalgamation and consolidation. What they will do now, instead of paying the full consideration by ABC Limited to reinsurance company, and instead of paying reinsurance company the commission to the ABC Limited, they will net it off. They will net it off. So what government have said that if on the reinsurance, if the insurance company 2 and insurance company 3 collect on the 100% of value GST from ABC Limited, then on that ceding commission, it will neither be treated as supply of goods nor be treated as supply of services. Read it, man. That's it. Service provided by an insurer to a reinsurer where the ceding or reinsurance commission is deducted from the reinsurance premium are not considered neither as supply of goods or supply of services, provided the reinsurer pay GST on the gross reinsurance premium inclusive of the commission. That means, sir, transaction number 1, nothing to talk. Transaction number 2 is a service between the reinsurance company and the ABC Limited. If reinsurance company is a service provider and ABC Limited is a service recipient, if reinsurance company collect GST on 100% on the reinsurance premium, then on ceding commission, it will neither be treated as supply of goods nor be treated as supply of services. I believe that you have settled with the second amendment also. Basically, technically, third one, right? Going to finish it off, man. Only these 2 amendments need much explanation. The remaining are very simple. Just 1 word, 2 word, we can, sir, move forward. Taxability of penal charges by the bank. Sir, RBI directed lenders to charge penal charges instead of penal interest for the loan term violation. Sometimes I may take a loan from a bank. I will not pay the installment. I will not pay the EMI. So there will be a delay in payment of interest. We already know that F stands for financial services. On financial services, sir, extending deposit, loan or advance, in so far as the consideration is represented by way of interest or discount, is exempted. Right, sir? Right, sir. Sir, here it is now RBI specifically said that you should not charge it as penal interest. You should charge it as penal charges. Oh my God. Only interest and discount are excluded, my dear lovable students. So if RBI is saying that don't collect it as penal interest, if it is collecting as penal charges, will GST, sir, attracted or not is the question. Such charges are not seen as payment for tolerating a breach. So GST is not applicable. So the GST department is putting a circular that whether it is penal interest or whether it is penal charges, interest on interest, we will not levy the GST is what the discussion is all about. Right, sir? A very important expected question for this September, man. Don't leave this. We have already covered this, just I'm highlighting. If sponsorship service are provided by any person to any body, corporate or partnership firm located in taxable territory, then it will be taxable under RCM. This is what we have studied when I explained the class. That is, the service is sponsorship service. Who's the service provider? Service provider is any person. Don't look the service provider, look the service recipient. If the service recipient is body, corporate or partnership firm. Sir, if the service recipient is body, corporate or partnership firm, Sir, the body corporate or partnership firm is the person liable to pay tax under reverse charge basis. This is what the settled provision. To this, any person, they have added one thing, man, other than body corporate. Any person, that means now they have added one fitting to the service provider other than body corporate. That means service provider should not be a body corporate. If service provider is a body corporate, then RCM provisions will not be applicable. FCM will be applicable. Because if the service provider is a body corporate, service provider is strong. If it is strong, why RCM has to be applicable? That's what. Sir, when the RCM will be applicable as per our class discussion? Service provider should be weak and service recipient should be strong. Sir, if the any person other than body corporate, that means any person other than body corporate means the service provider is not a body corporate. And the service recipient is body corporate or partnership firm, then body corporate or partnership firm is strong. That's why earlier RCM was applicable. Now they have amended saying that you have to check the service provider also. If the sponsorship service are provided by any person other than body corporate, yes, that means the service provider is weak. To any body corporate or partnership firm, that means recipient is strong, located in taxable territory, then it will be taxable under RCM. An expected question, my dear lovable students. One more expected question is there for September exam. Sir, if an unregistered person, that means I am a service provider, sir. I am an unregistered person, provides service of renting of immovable property. I am having an immovable property, sir. So I am an unregistered person. Basically, I am a very weak person. I am providing service of immovable property other than residential dwelling. That means commercial property I am letting out. Commercial property I am letting out to a registered person, my dear lovable students, to a registered person. That means registered person are strong. Registered person is liable to pay GST under reverse charge basis. This is what we have studied in class. Now they are clarifying that in this registered person, if that registered person has taken registration for the purpose of traveling section 10, that is composition dealer, then it will be taxable, sir, under RCM. In the sense means you have to see the recipient, status of the recipient. Look, who's the service provider? Unregistered person, because then only RCM is applicable. Unregistered person. What service is providing? Renting of immobile property. What immobile property? Not the residential property, the commercial property. Okay, fine. All the things has been satisfied. Earlier, the condition was if the recipient is a registered person, immediately RCM will be applicable. But now that recipient should be a registered person except composition dealer. That means if that guy is a composition dealer, then RCM will not be applicable, because composition dealer, he will not collect output tax. He can't take ITC also. Government came to know that, oh, why he is scratching his head, unnecessary disturbing him. So this recipient should be a registered person other than composition dealer. Then only RCM will be applicable. These two things are highly, sir, expected area for this September examination. Clear? Sir, can I consolidate that part? Sir, if the service provider is sponsorship services, check the service provider. Sir, in order to apply the RCM, service provider should be any person other than body corporate. Because if the service provider is body corporate, FCM. Other than body corporate. And if the service recipient is body corporate or partnership firm, service provider is weak and service recipient is strong, then only RCM will be applicable. Fine. Entry 5AB, sir, service provider is unregistered person, weak. Service provider is renting of immobile property. Okay, fine. And the property is not residential property, commercial property. And if the service recipient is a registered person, RCM is what we studied. But the recipient should not be traveled through the composition scheme. Recipient should be traveled through other than composition scheme. That's it, man. Fantastic to the core. Time of supply is the next discussion. You know, time of supply and all I love you area for ICAI. My dear lovable students, we have studied section 12 and section 13. 12.1, 12.2, 12.3, 12.4, 12.5, 12.6. 13.1, 13.2, 13.3, 13.4, 13.5, 13.6. Right. Are you remembering 13.3? That is a time limit for payment of tax with regard to RCM for services. what we have studied in class is date of receipt of services varadu, date of payment or 61st day from the supplier's invoice, whichever is earlier. This is what we have studied. My dear lovable students, anyway, date of receipt of services varadu, that provision is still hold good. Date of payment by recipient, yes, that is still correct. 61st day from the supplier's invoice, that is also correct. But they have added one more limb into it, man. Date of issue of invoice by the recipient, if required, that is self-invoice. Sometimes, my dear lovable students, this is RCM. This is the analysis of the amendment. RCM in the sense means service provider is there, service recipient is there. The service provider may be a registered person or unregistered person. If this guy is a registered person, this guy will raise the invoice under section 31. But if this guy is an unregistered person, being service recipient is a registered person, as per section 31 subsection 3 clause F, this recipient is the person who are liable to pay tax, who are liable to raise the invoice. That is called a self-invoice in GST. So, assume a situation, the service is covered under RCM. For example, GTA service, as we all know that. GTA service is RCM. There are only two options are there. That GTA may be registered GTA, GTA may be unregistered GTA. If GTA is a registered GTA, my dear lovable students, GTA will raise the invoice. Then there is no use of this third part. That is date of payment or 61st day from the supplier's invoice, because supplier has raised the invoice, whichever is later, that's it. Whichever is earlier, sorry, that's it. Sir, if the GTA is an unregistered GTA, my dear lovable students, recipient is the person who are supposed to raise the invoice as per section 31, subsection 3, clause F. Are you remembering this? Yes, sir. Then 61st day from the supplier invoice concept will not be applicable, because supplier is an unregistered person. He can't or he will not raise the invoice at all. As per 31 subsection 3 clause F, I am the person who are supposed to raise the invoice. Then date of issue of invoice by recipient, on what date I raise the invoice, my dear lovable students, that is the date of time of supply. Here you may ask a doubt. Sir, if the recipient is not raising the invoice at all, if he is taking 6 months or 6 years to raise the invoice, that's why in the tax invoice chapter, even they have added the maximum time limit to raise the self-invoice also in the amendment we will be discussed, man. So what is the one-line summary? Earlier with regard to RCM for services, actually 13 subsection 3 we used to say that, sir, date of receipt of services varadu, then date of payment or 61st day from the supplier's invoice, whichever is earlier. Now, sir, date of payment or 61st day from the supplier's invoice if the supplier is a registered person, or date of issue of self-invoice if the supplier is an unregistered person. Like that, we have to conjointly read it, man. That's it with regard to the time of supply amendment. Coming to the place of supply amendment, my dear lovable students, sir, this is only a circular, sir. Nothing has been done with the section. What they are saying, sir, as we all know that we are having two sections, man. This is the analysis, section 12 and section 30. Sir, section 12 is, sir, place of supply of services. 13 is not there in the inter, leave it, man. So 12.1, 12.2, both are applicability. 12.3 to 12.14, my dear lovable students, are specified services. That means, if you are a service provider, you will check whether your service are covered under 12.3 to 12.14. If your service are covered under 12.3 to 12.14, my dear lovable students, then it will not cover under 12.2. If a service is not covered under 12.3 to 12.14, then it will cover under 12.2. 12.2 is general provision. Are you remembering how we studied general provision? Simple, man. General provision classified into two categories. General provision classified into two categories. You have to check that whether the recipient is a registered person or unregistered person. If the recipient is a registered person, location of the recipient, that's it. If the recipient is an unregistered person, my dear lovable students, you have to check address available address not available. If address is available, again location of the recipient. Address not available, location of the supplier. This is what the provision we studied. There is no change, but they said that. If you are a supplier of online services, so many online services are there today, right? To unregistered users must mention the recipient state on the invoice, irrespective of the value. For example, I'm a service provider. I'm providing services. Through what channel I am providing the services? Through online channel I am providing the services. Like online money gaming is there, OIDR services is there. Any service in online I am providing to an unregistered person. Then it is mandatory that recipient state have to be mentioned. This state, for example, sir, if you are mentioning Tamil Nadu as a state, this state will be treated as a place of supply for GST as per IGST Act, Section 12, Subsection 2, Clause B. That's what 12, Subsection 2, Clause B. Clause B means if you are providing service to an unregistered person. Supplier must collect this information before supplying. That means if you are a supplier who are going to supply online services to an unregistered person, first collect the state in which the unregistered person is residing. Then only you are supposed to provide the service. My dear lovable students, without collecting the recipient state, you are not supposed to provide the service. And that state should be mentioned in the invoice, and that state will be used to find out the place of supply, is what the discussion is all about. Fantastic to the core. I'm moving into the next one called as exemption from GST. We are having section 11, right, sir? This is a beautiful section has been added. Always we will say that, sir, GST department is only for the favor of the department. They will never favor the assessees. Now department is also showing so much of mercy on the taxpayers. Really, I am saying in the sense means what a section, new section has been added by the GST department. Section 11A of the CGST Act or section 6A of the IGST Act. No GST recovery due to general practice. For example, I will give you an example, then I will read it, man. For example, I am a seller of calculator. Entire India, the sellers of calculators have understood that this calculator is used by the students, especially CA students, especially the students who are studying. So this is a educational aid. Hence, for this and all, government will not charge GST. That to this government. This government is favorable to students. By this notion, by this thing in our mind, my dear lovable students, government, the traders, the sellers have not collected the GST for the last 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. Now, proper officer is coming and saying that, how dare you will not collect GST for the calculator? Calculator is a taxable item. Calculator is a taxable item. You have not collected GST. You are supposed to pay GST from your pocket. Like this torturing the officers are doing. Or, till now, my dear lovable students, the suppliers of calculator throughout India thought that it will be taxable at 5% because of its HSN code or the code which has been mentioned in the GST. But later today, proper officer is coming and saying that how dare you will be collecting 5% GST. You should have collected 18% GST. Whatever 18 minus 5, you should pay from your pocket to the government. Otherwise, I will put you in bars. Now GST department is coming up with a new section. Government can decide not to recover GST if it is what not levied at all. In my first example, the suppliers have not levied GST at all for the calculator because they assume that for calculator there is no GST, or short levied due to commonly followed practice. Throughout India, any state you go, there was a confusion whether GST is there for calculator or not. Example only calculator used, man. That means in future, if it get a clarity, government is saying that we will never ask you to pay whatever GST. It is not thought by one person. It is thought by entire India. With the council's approval, it can notify that no GST need to be paid in such cases. That's what section 11A, a brilliant, beautiful, sir, supporting section for the taxpayers. Fine, fantastic to the core. GST on ancillary services in power distribution. Already this is there in section 11. A small amendment they have made. Exemption of service like meter rental, testing, new connection, shifting meters from one place to another, duplicate bills are ancillary to electricity transmission and distribution and are part of main electricity supply by utilities. For example, we know that transmission or distribution of electricity by transmission or distribution utility are exempt from what? GST, right, sir? Not only that, main services like meter rentals or testing services, providing new connection, shifting meters from the old home to the new home or one place to another, or giving the old duplicate bills when it is required by the people. All these are also connected services. That is called as ancillary services. Even ancillary services are also exempted under section 11. Reinsurance services, man. Actually, already we talked about reinsurance. Nothing. The Motor Vehicle Accident Fund provides insurance services using contribution from third-party motor insurance premium are exempt from GST. What they are trying to say, I will tell you, man. For example, if you are having a car, you will be taking insurance. You will be taking insurance for yourself. You will be taking insurance for the car. If something has been happened to you or something has been happened to the car, insurance company will compensate. Why something is going to happen to you or car? Because of the accident. Because of the accident, you only will not get affected, my dear lovable students. Even the third party will also get affected. Third party means a common person who are traveling in road or walking in road. That guy is called as third party. So, we are supposed to take insurance not only for the person who are taking insurance and for the car, but also for the third party. So, from this guy, there is an insurance company. Insurance company will be providing insurance to the main person. So, they will be collecting GST. They will be collecting value of supply plus GST from the main person. For example, 1 lakh rupees is the value of supply and 18,000 rupees is the GST. Total 1 lakh 18,000 rupees they will be collecting. My dear lovable students, on this 1 lakh, for example, 5% they will contribute to a fund called as Motor Vehicle Accident Fund. Motor Vehicle Accident Fund. You know what is the purpose of this fund? Sir, the money will be contributed to this fund, and from this fund they will spend for the third party, my dear lovable students, not for the main party. They will spend for the third party. It is like a charitable activity because the third party would have died, third party would have injured, third party would have hospitalized. So from the Motor Vehicle Accident Fund, they will provide insurance services. They will be providing supporting services to that third party. What government said that it is exempt from GST? Come on. Motor Vehicle Accident Fund provides insurance services using contribution from third party motor insurance premium. That means insurance company will be providing insurance services to the main party. They will be collecting value of supply from plus GST. 1 lakh plus 18,000. My dear lovable students, on this 1 lakh, for example, 5%, 5,000 will be contributed to the motor vehicle fund. Who will do this? Insurance company will put the money here. And when something has been happened to the third party, my dear lovable students, this motor vehicle accident fund will spend for the third party. That is exempt from GST. Easy. Services by NSDC, sir, etc. This is educational related exemption. Exemption on service provided by NSDC, NCVET or recognized awarding body, assessment agency, training body, training partner approved by NSDC, including National Skill Development Program, National Skill Certification Scheme, approved qualification under the National Scheme Qualification Framework are exempt from GST. This we already discussed only, my dear lovable students. Nothing big. Service provided by NSDC, NCVET, National Awarding Body, Assessment Agency and Training Body or Training Partners approved by NSDC are exempt from GST. These are circulars, man. Always circulars is having second importance. But anyway, we will read it, my dear lovable students. GST on facility management for Municipal Corporation of Delhi. Simple, there was one issue going on with regard to the Municipal Corporation of Delhi. Municipal Corporation of Delhi. For example, if there is a service provider and they are providing service to the municipal corporation, so the service is statutory function entrusted to a municipality under Article 243G or statutory function entrusted to a panchayat under 243W. then it will be exempt from GST, because this municipal people are going to provide to the general public the statutory function. Accepting? But the service is not that. The service is the housekeeping services to the municipal corporation. Whether that will be treated as statutory function or not is the question. How it will be treated as statutory function. Facility services like housekeeping, maintenance, etc. provided to the municipal corporation of Delhi are taxable, as they are not linked to municipal functions under Article 243W. That means I am a service provider. Two service providers are there. If one service provider is providing statutory function to the municipal corporation for the purpose of providing it to general public, that is exempted, we already understood. But this municipality or municipal corporation need cleaning, housekeeping, sir, painting, etc. That service I provided to this guy, and I am saying that it is a statutory function entrusted to municipality. How it will be a statutory function? Hence that service is taxable. GST exemption for payment aggregators on small transaction, that we already know, man. Payment aggregators are exempt from GST for settling card payment up to rupees 2,000, but payment gateway services are not exempted. That means if you are collecting any payment gateway services, that will be taxable. Sir, per transaction that commission is exempted, man, but payment gateway services are taxable. Sir, what is with regard to input tax credit, sir? One important amendment they have made according to me. Any tax paid under section 74 for period up to financial year 23-24. Sir, our financial year is 24-25. We know blocked credit. There are 10 items of blocked credit are there. In that, any tax you paid under section 74, 129, 130 cannot be taken as ITC. But they have said that they have classified that 74, 129, 130 into two category, 74 and 129, 130. What they are saying is for section 74 till 23-24, till 23-24, it is blocked credit. That means from 24-25 onwards, it is allowed credit, my dear lovable students. What is, sir, 74? Any tax paid on account of showcase notice issued to a fraud people, even that tax can be taken as ITC. Wow. Till now, this is not the fate from the department. Department said that any fraud tax paid cannot be taken as ITC. But what government is saying that rule is applicable only till financial year 23-24. From 24-25 onwards, if you are paying any tax under section 74, that can be taken as ITC. That means what is with regard to 129, 130? Sir, if any tax is paid under 129, 130, both the sections are not at inter, it is there in the CA final, by supplier and passed on to the recipient, then recipient can claim what? ITC is what the discussion is all about. Fine, man. That means, my dear lovable students, they have removed the blocked credit item section 129 and 130. For 74, they said that up to 23-24, it is blocked credit. From 23-24 onwards, even for 74 also, you are entitled to take the ITC. I believe that from this area, you may get a question from 74. Because our financial year is 24-25, they may say that the assessee, because of the fraud showcase notice, they paid some amount that can be taken as ITC, because that restriction is applicable only till financial year 23-24. Okay, sir. This is again one more circular, my dear lovable students. I will explain that circular. For example, what the circular is dealing is, if you are an automobile dealer, for example, I am a manufacturer of car. The car is manufacturing in my factory, my dear lovable students. This is my factory. Here, car is manufacturing. After manufacturing the car, this car I am giving to my dealer. I am giving to my dealer. Sir, for example, today I am sending the car by GTA. Only after, sir, 2 weeks, the car will be received by the dealer. As we all know that as per section 16 subsection 2, only when you really receive the goods or service or both, the dealer will be liable to take the what? ITC. But you know the terms of sending the car. This factory is saying that on this factory gate, all my responsibilities are getting over. If something has been happened to this car while during the transit, the dealer is the person who are responsible. That means dealer is asking that if that is the case, they will be raising invoice by this day, right? They will be charging GST by this day. I will be paying value of supply plus GST on this day itself. But I have to take the GST only on next month, because this 2 weeks delay may lead to the next month. So it is affecting the working capital for the dealers. They are saying that one time I paid GST to the supplier and again I have to wait to take the ITC. So these dealers start claiming ITC once this factory guy dispatch the goods itself. Actually, it is against GST. But department came up and said that, okay, fine, man, we are understanding your pain. We government are to support the taxpayers. So auto dealers claim ITC when goods are handed over for transportation. At the OEM means original equipment manufacturers, factory under X works, but some officers insist on physical receipt. This was the issue going on. So under X works, goods given to the transporter at the factory is deemed as received by the dealer for ITC. That means for the purpose of ITC, if the factory is handing over the goods, to the GTA for the purpose of transport, you have to assume that by this point itself, the recipient has received the goods. It's like deemed receipt. ITC is allowed only if used or intended to be used for business. However, ITC is disallowed if the goods are lost, stolen, or used for any non-business. That means during transit, if it has been lost, then what? Stolen, or it has been written off, something has been happened to the goods. Whatever ITC has been availed by the dealer has to be reversed. Super. All CGST compliances under 16 and 17 must be followed. That means only deemed assumption is generally this dealer is supposed to take ITC only after receipt of the vehicle. But since it takes time, since it is affecting the working capital of the dealer, my dear lovable students, what they are saying is, once they dispatch the goods in the factory gate, it will be assumed that dealer has received the goods. On that date itself, dealer can take ITC. But during the transit, if something has been happened, whatever ITC has been taken should be reversed. Clear? TDS and TCS amendments. We are going to wind up the entire discussion, man. TDS return filing procedure. As we all know that, detector, that is department or establishment of central government, local authority, governmental agency, or any notified person who are having PASEM, PASEM. These 4 people are supposed to detect TDS. Sir, the TDS detector must file form GSTR 7, old provision, by 10th of the next month on the GST portal. Again, old provision, my dear lovable students. What they are trying to say? Simple. TDS detector is supposed to file GSTR 7. By the 10th of the next month means what they are trying to say in the amendment is, earlier there is no concept of nil TDS return. Now, in particular month, if the detector has not detected anything, then also they are supposed to file the nil GSTR 7 is what they are saying. ITC eligibility for e-commerce operator under 9.5 services, man. Again a circular. Sir, e-commerce operator don't need to reverse ITC for service under 9.5 except restaurant services. For example, sir, if specified services are supplied through e-commerce operator is the person who are liable to pay tax, not under RCM, under eco charge, right? But they will be collecting output tax for the specified services like housekeeping services, accommodation services, passenger transportation services, restaurant services. For restaurant services, it is blocked credit. They can't take ITC. For all the remaining services, e-commerce operator can take ITC. They can claim ITC on input or input service, but can't use it to pay 9.5 tax liability, because 9.5 tax liability should be paid through electronic cash ledger. ITC will be go and sit in the electronic credit ledger. ITC can be used for e-commerce operator own taxable supply like commission or platform fees. That means what they are clarifying is, sir, if I am an e-commerce operator, this is the analysis, man. E-commerce operator, if specified services has been supplied through the e-commerce operator is the person liable to pay GST, right? What are the specified services? Sir, accommodation services, housekeeping services, accommodation services, passenger transportation services, and restaurant service. For restaurant service, the eco is not supposed to take ITC. But for these three services, if there is any ITC, that ITC can be taken and that can come and sit in the electronic credit ledger, my dear lovable students. Sir, for these things, this ITC cannot be used. These tax has to be paid by the e-commerce operator through the electronic cash ledger only. Then what I have to do with this ITC, sir? You can utilize this ITC if e-commerce operator is having any other tax liability. Registration, sir, again circulars only. Agriculture list, no need to take GST registration for supplying dried pepper. Pepper is an agricultural produce. Even dried pepper is also an agricultural produce. Or raisins, these all are agricultural produce. In order to supply these items, being an agriculturist, you are not supposed to take the GST registration. Sir, we are having additional verification, Aadhaar authentication. If Aadhaar authentication is not opted, that means when I am taking registration, I have not opted the Aadhaar authentication option. Applicant must provide a photograph. This is again a circular. They are saying rules or photos of the related individual. If it is not an individual, that means if for company I am going to take the registration, but I have not opted the Aadhaar authentication, then I have to provide the photograph of the people who are going to take the registration. Or in case of company managing director, verify documents at the facilitation center. You have to go and verify there. It's like taking your Aadhaar card. You have to go and sit like this, do biometric and all. The application is complete only after successful verification. In the facilitation center, if they are saying that you have been properly verified, then only your application will be processed. Section 30, a revocation of cancellation of registration. We all know that. As per section 29, your registration will be cancelled. And as per section 30, sir, if the proper officer is happy that they will revoke the cancellation of registration. Right, sir? Now, GST department is saying that proper officer can revoke. We don't have any problem. Sir, the PO can revoke or reject the revocation. That is the ishtam of the proper officer. But the applicant must be heard before rejection. That means opportunity of being heard should be provided. Even this point is there before also. And revocation is allowed only if certain conditions and restrictions are followed. That means after revocation, proper officer can say that you are not supposed to do intrastate supply. You are not supposed to do export for next 1 month. Then only your registration will be valid. What is the condition? They have not mentioned. But they are saying that in future, even revocation of cancellation may be with the condition or restriction. Right. Sir, if a person does not need GST registration but required to pay any tax, officer can give a TIN, temporary identification number, and issue form GST REG 12. Nothing, man. We are having CTP and RTP. Before commencement of the business, at least 5 days before, they are supposed to apply for registration, right? Sir, they have to take the registration, right? For those people, first TIN, temporary identification number, will be given in form GST REG 012. And they are going to get the registration. Those people are not discussed here. They are saying if a person does not need GST registration but required to pay tax. For example, I am a handicraft goods person. I am going to do an interstate supply. Then I can enjoy, even though I am an interstate supplier of goods, up to 20 lakhs. But if I am liable to pay tax as CTP, my dear lovable students, then they will be providing TIN in form GST REG 12. Tax invoice, I already said, man. Sir, this has been omitted, nothing, man. Export invoices must mention that supply is for export or a ZZ unit or developer with or without IGST payment. This we already discussed in the class itself. If a particular invoice is for export, you have to mention that this invoice is for export. And are you exporting after paying GST or without paying GST should be mentioned, man. Self-invoice time limit, we already discussed. Sir, self-invoice and payment voucher in case of reverse charge mechanism. Under RCM, the recipient must issue a payment voucher when making payment to the supplier. Yes, sir. Supplier may be registered person or unregistered person. Issue a self-invoice if the supplier is unregistered, including TDS. Only registered supplier. That means this is the amendment, man. Sir, supplier is an unregistered person. A recipient is a registered person. Recipient is the person who are supposed to raise the self-invoice. This we know. Sir, if the supplier has been taken solely for the purpose of deducting TDS under section 51 and the recipient is a registered person, then also self-invoice provisions will be applicable. That means even a supplier has taken TDS registration only, it should be treated as an unregistered person for the purpose of self-invoice. What is the time limit? This will be tested in exam. Issue a self-invoice within 30 days of receiving goods or services, my dear lovable students. Within 30 days. That means from an unregistered person, if you are receiving the goods or services within 30 days of the receipt, you are supposed to raise the self-invoice, is what the discussion. Accounts, records and e-way bill. Sir, generation of UEN, unique enrollment number. For example, unregistered person must enter details on the portal to get the unique enrollment number if they making interstate supply of handicraft goods. Exempt from obtaining compulsory registration, choose to generate an e-way bill. For example, I am an unregistered person, but I am dealing with notified handicraft goods. As per section 24, I am not supposed to take the compulsory registration. But this chapter, e-way bill chapter, is killing me by saying that in order to move the goods from one state to another, mandatorily e-way bill should be there. That is there in the act. How an unregistered person can generate e-way bill is a big question. Now the department is answering that. First, you have to get the unique enrollment number like GSTIN. With that unique enrollment number, you can generate the e-way bill. Without taking registration, you can move goods from one state to another. Sir, returns, my dear lovable students, furnishing of returns by TDS deductor. TDS deductor under section 51 must file GSTR 7. Even no tax was deducted by 10th of the next month on the GST portal. Already we discussed, man. In the sense means now nil TDS return has been introduced. Like our nil GSTR 1, nil GSTR 3B, even GSTR 7 also nil the government want. It is mandatory, my dear lovable students. These are the major amendments in your statutory updates. I hope that certain circulars I have not covered in depth. I just said that this is exempted, this is taxable, because that is more than enough, my dear lovable students. And the remaining section amendments and all we have done in depth. I believe that this is very useful for you. If yes, sir, just inform me by way of comments and start preparing this 1.5 days as much as possible. I have given a fantastic and a brilliant and an outstanding timetable how to cover both DT and IDT in 1.5 days. And today, after your law examination from 7 to 10, I am doing a live for the procedural aspects of the GST. If you are interested, you can come and join. Otherwise, please do the self-study. Please revise as much as possible. Try to cover as much as possible. We'll meet at the appropriate time. I wish to see you all as a CA final student. Thank you. Bye-bye from ANM.